Hey YouTube, what's up? Ember1205 here for the Hot Camaro channel. So thanks for tuning in today. Got a really short video that kind of takes you through a little bit of info about why, for me, when I connect my car to a battery tender, I don't close the hood. So different people do things different ways. I charge under the hood, you'll see that. But when I have the car, parked and the tender connected, winter storage, for example, I don't completely close my hood, and it's basically so that I don't have to keep monkeying with the battery tender, because closing it can actually cause you problems, but maybe not in the way you think. So anyway, take a look at the video, and I'll see you back at the end.
Quick little bit of info today, just kind of as an FYI. So typically, when you approach the car and you go ahead and grab the handle or unlock, right, as soon as you open, the window drops down because it indexes, but you'll also hear the fuel pump kick on if you've been away from the car for a little bit. So it pre-pressurizes the fuel rails so that the car is ready to start. In my situation where I have the car stored in the garage, and I want to have a battery tender on it, what I do is I actually take and I get everything all hooked up, and I'll pop this up so you can see that I've got the wires in place. And of course, the one time I need to be able to find the latch, I can't. There we go. So I have the clips connected here. I actually routed this so that the wiring comes out through the grill. And theoretically, I could completely close the hood if I want to, but you'll notice I don't. I leave it set and cracked open. And the car knows that the hood is open. There's a sensor in there, so that with it popped like this, if you approach the car, so for example, the other day I had not been in this car for any reason whatsoever. I hadn't popped the trunk, opened a door, nothing for a minimum of a month, maybe 6 weeks. And I actually had to start the car to move it. And when I went to open the door, it did nothing. So typically all you got to do is be away from the car for like 30 minutes or whatever, and it'll fire that thing up. And in this particular situation, because the hood is popped, it detects that the hood is open, and its sense is that even though you're opening the door, it's not going to be to start the car, so it does not pre-pressurize the fuel rail. So just a tip that, especially if you have the car on a tender, a lot of times what'll happen is the tender will kick out of charging mode. So you see mine right there is in charging mode. So a lot of times it'll kick out of charging mode. Out of maintenance mode, and it'll throw an error. If you do anything like lock the doors or anything along those lines, because it's a big quick draw, and that shows up in the tender as a fault. So if you don't want that sort of stuff to happen, or you want to minimize how often it happens, just go ahead and leave the hood popped, and the car will never think that you're opening the door to start it.
All right, there you have it, right? Real simple. Just basically, if you close the hood, the car knows that the hood is completely closed. So when you do something like open the driver's door, the computer is programmed to make the assumption that it's being opened because you're going to get in, start it up, and drive it away. So it can kick the fuel pump in, which is a short burst of energy that it needs, but it's a lot of energy, right? So if it attempts to make that power draw off of the battery while the battery tender is connected, and you've got a tender slash maintain, or whatever you want to call it, those things have circuitry in them to detect when it goes like into a trickle charge mode. And if the car turns around and all of a sudden wants a big surge of power to do something, the battery tender tends to detect that as a fault. And if you're not paying attention, the battery tender basically goes into like an off mode, right? So it's no longer trickle charging. And if you walk away from the car and don't realize that, it can be sitting there unattended, unmaintained, and the whole purpose of connecting the thing in the first place kind of goes out the window. So at any rate, that was it. Just want to show you that, give you a little bit of insight, nothing big, but hey, down below, comment, like, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you know when new stuff is coming. And I look forward to seeing you in another video. Until then, Ember1205, out.